Dr. Alex Reed, a physicist with an insatiable curiosity, dedicated their life to unraveling the mysteries of time. Years of tireless research and countless experiments filled his days and haunted his nights. The quest consumed him, pushing him to the very edge of scientific understanding. But Alex persisted, driven by the belief that time travel, a concept relegated to the realms of science fiction, could become reality. His lab, a testament to his unwavering dedication, was a labyrinth of wires, circuits, and complex machinery. Equations scrawled across whiteboards covered every inch of the walls, each one a stepping stone on his journey to conquer time. Each failed experiment, each setback, only strengthened his resolve, fueling his desire to break through the barriers of conventional physics. Alex's dedication was not driven by mere ambition. It stemmed from a profound desire to understand the very fabric of reality. He believed that by unraveling the secrets of time, humanity could unlock unimaginable possibilities. The potential to correct past mistakes, avert future disasters, and gain a deeper understanding of our place in the universe fueled his tireless efforts. And then, one fateful night, the impossible happened. Alex's years of relentless pursuit culminated in a breakthrough that would forever alter the course of his life and challenge the very foundations of our understanding of time. He had done it. He had built a time machine. The impossible had become reality. What if every decision, every seemingly insignificant choice, could spin off a new reality? Imagine a world where countless timelines exist, each one a consequence of our actions. Dr. Alex Reed's invention leads him on a journey through these possibilities. Each decision created a ripple effect, branching into new timelines. It was a dizzying, awe-inspiring realization. The air in the lab crackled with anticipation. After years of relentless work, the moment of truth had arrived. The time machine stood before Alex, a symphony of polished metal and glowing lights. Alex paused, his hand hovering over the activation switch. Doubt whispered insidious suggestions in the back of his mind. Taking a deep breath, Alex steeled his nerves and made a decision. With a decisive push, he slammed his hand down on the activation switch. The lab erupted in a cacophony of light and sound. As his vision returned, he realized something extraordinary had happened. A low hum, barely audible at first, grew into a deafening roar as the time machine shuddered, the very air around it thickening with an unseen energy. The metal walls groaned under the strain, the lights flickering erratically as the impossible unfolded before Alex's eyes. Where once there was only a solid wall, a swirling vortex of colors had materialized, a shimmering portal beckoning him forward. Fear, primal and instinctive, threatened to paralyze him. The unknown stretched before him like an abyss, its depths promising both wonder and unimaginable terror. But beneath the fear, a sense of exhilaration bubbled to the surface. This was it, the culmination of years of tireless work, the moment he had dreamed of since he was a child poring over science fiction novels. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped into the unknown. The world around him dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors and light, his senses overwhelmed by the sheer strangeness of it all. He felt a peculiar sensation of weightlessness, as if the laws of physics themselves had ceased to apply. Time, that constant companion, seemed to bend and warp around him, its familiar rhythm replaced by a chaotic symphony of echoes and reverberations. Then, as quickly as it began, the chaos subsided. The swirling vortex of colors coalesced into a recognizable form, the shimmering portal solidifying into a doorway leading to another time, another place. Alex found himself standing on the threshold of the unknown, ready to confront the infinite possibilities that lay before him. Stepping out of the time machine, Alex was met with a sight that both captivated and terrified him. A world transformed, a testament to humanity's relentless march towards progress. Towering skyscrapers pierced the clouds, their metallic surfaces glinting in the light of a crimson sun. Sleek, aerodynamic vehicles zipped through the air, leaving trails of light in their wake. The air hummed with a strange energy, a tangible sense of advancement. He had traveled through time. Of that there was no doubt. This was real, and it was breathtaking. As Alex ventured deeper into this unfamiliar world, His initial awe gave way to cautious curiosity. He noticed a public display screen, its surface alive with information streaming at an impossible speed. Slowing down the feed with a wave of his hand, he was met with an image that made his heart skip a beat. It was him, or rather, an older version of himself. The man on the screen, his face etched with the passage of time, addressed a crowd with an air of quiet confidence. The accompanying text identified him as Dr. Alexander Reed, renowned physicist and visionary leader. This future self seemed content, accomplished, a far cry from the anxiety-ridden scientist who had stepped into the time machine just moments ago. The news ticker below his image scrolled through a series of headlines, each one more astonishing than the last. Could this be his future? Could he, the same man plagued by self-doubt and uncertainty, achieve such extraordinary things? The possibilities, once theoretical constructs confined to the realm of imagination, now felt tantalizingly within reach. He had caught a glimpse of what could be, and it filled him with a sense of both wonder and trepidation. The future was a canvas, and he was the artist. The possibilities were endless. The city, a dazzling spectacle of glass and steel, stretched before Alex like a scene from a science fiction film. Sleek, aerodynamic vehicles zipped silently through the air, navigating the canyons between towering skyscrapers. But beneath the gleaming facade, Alex sensed an undercurrent of something else, a subtle dissonance. The streets were strangely deserted, the few pedestrians moving with a hurried purpose. Their faces bore expressions of guarded neutrality, eyes betraying a deep-seated weariness. It was as if the city existed in a state of perpetual twilight, caught between brilliance and shadows. As Alex navigated the labyrinthine streets, his senses on high alert, he stumbled upon a sight that sent a shiver down his spine. In the center of a sprawling plaza, surrounded by futuristic buildings, stood a towering holographic statue, its ethereal form shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence. And the face of the statue was unmistakably his own. The inscription at the base confirmed his suspicions. This was a monument to Dr. Alexander Reed, visionary scientist. But the Alex Reed immortalized here was not the anxious scientist who had stepped into the time machine. This was a man transformed, his features etched with wisdom and experience, his eyes radiating a quiet confidence. A wave of dizziness washed over him, the implications of this discovery overwhelming his composure. Had he, through some twist of fate, become this revered figure? Or was this a testament to a different version of himself? The uncertainty gnawed at him, amplifying the sense of disorientation since his arrival. He had come seeking answers, but found himself confronted with more questions, struggling to reconcile the familiar yet different reality before him. The weight of his choices pressed down on Alex with the force of a physical burden. He had always believed in the power of free will, the ability to shape his own destiny. But here, he felt like a pawn in a larger game, his moves dictated by unknown forces. Each decision could send ripples through time, creating new timelines and possibilities. The freedom to choose was intertwined with the weight of responsibility. As Alex wandered through the unfamiliar streets, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. A prickling sensation at the back of his neck suggested he was not alone. He paused, pretending to study a holographic display while discreetly scanning his surroundings. Across the street, partially obscured by the swirling crowds, stood a shadowy figure, its features hidden beneath a dark hood. For a fleeting moment, Alex caught a glimpse of its face. It was him, or rather, a younger version of himself. Their eyes met across the crowded street, a silent acknowledgement of their shared existence. And then, just as quickly as it had appeared, the figure melted back into the throng, disappearing into the labyrinthine heart of the city. The paradox of time. The encounter left Alex reeling, his mind struggling to process the implications. The laws of physics seemed to crumble around him. Had he interacted with a past version of himself, creating a temporal paradox? Time travel now felt dangerously real, its implications profound. The encounter shattered the illusion of linear time, creating a disorienting landscape. He sought answers, hoping to glimpse the future. Instead, he found more questions and uncertainties. The encounter forced him to confront the possibility of catastrophic consequences. The weight of his choices settled upon him with a crushing weight. He stumbled into a labyrinth of paradoxes, threatening to unravel time itself. The Crossroads of Decision. Alex realized his predicament wasn't just one future, but a multitude, each branching from critical decisions. He stood at the heart of a vast web of possibilities, each thread a choice altering history. One pivotal moment haunted him, a radical scientific breakthrough with unknown risks. He had chosen caution, locking away the discovery, fearing its consequences. Now he wondered about the path not taken, the future where he embraced the unknown. The pull of the alternate timeline was seductive, urging him to explore what might have been. The ripple effect. Driven by a thirst for knowledge and a growing sense of responsibility, Alex began to experiment, testing the boundaries of his time-bending abilities. He made subtle alterations to past events, insignificant choices with seemingly minor consequences, and observed the ripple effects as they spread through the time stream. In one timeline, a chance encounter with a brilliant but overlooked scientist led to a groundbreaking medical discovery, eradicating a deadly disease that had plagued humanity for centuries. In another, a seemingly harmless act of kindness towards a stranger set in motion a chain of events that culminated in a global conflict, plunging the world into chaos. The experience was both humbling and terrifying, a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of all things and the awesome power of even the smallest actions to shape the course of history. He saw firsthand how a single choice, a moment of compassion or a lapse in judgment, could send ripples through the time stream, amplifying over time into waves of unimaginable consequence. He realized that he was not merely a traveler through time, but a participant in its unfolding drama, his every action leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of existence. The weight of this responsibility, the knowledge that he held the fate of countless lives in his hands, filled him with a profound sense of purpose and a chilling awareness of his own fallibility. As Alex continued his explorations, venturing further down the branching paths of his own future, he began to notice a disturbing trend. In many of the timelines, whispers of dissent followed his name, his legacy tarnished by unintended consequences and unforeseen repercussions. In one future, he was hailed as a visionary, his scientific breakthroughs ushering in a new era of peace and prosperity. But even in this seemingly utopian reality, there were those who questioned the price of progress, who pointed to the widening gap between the haves and the have-nots, the erosion of privacy in the name of security, the subtle but insidious control exerted by those in power. In other timelines, the consequences of his actions were far more dire. He saw his inventions used for destruction, his discoveries twisted to serve the agendas of power-hungry dictators and ruthless corporations. He witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of unchecked technological advancement, the environmental degradation, the social unrest, the loss of humanity in a world increasingly dominated by machines. The experience shook him to his core, forcing him to confront the uncomfortable truth that even the best intentions could pave the road to hell. He had embarked on this journey, believing in the power of knowledge to change the world for the better, but he was now forced to acknowledge the potential for that same knowledge to be used for unimaginable evil. One timeline haunted his every waking thought. Humanity had achieved godlike technological advancement, disease eradicated, poverty gone, death conquered. But this utopia came at a steep price. Natural resources depleted, ecosystems collapsing, human spirit diminished, creativity stifled, lives extended, needs met, but something essential lost, emotions regulated, thoughts controlled by AI, perfect order but devoid of wonder. Alex questioned the very definition of progress, immortality at the cost of one's soul, sacrificing nature for technological advancement. The questions haunted him long after. As Alex delved deeper into the labyrinth of his own future, he found himself increasingly drawn back to his own timeline, the world he had left behind. He had seen the seductive allure of alternate realities, the tantalizing possibilities offered by different choices. But he had also witnessed the devastating consequences of tampering with the delicate fabric of time. The more he saw, the more he realized the wisdom of his initial decision to lock away his most dangerous discovery. The future was a fragile thing, a delicate balance of hope and despair, progress and destruction, Even the smallest actions could have unintended consequences, setting in motion a chain of events that could lead to unimaginable suffering. He thought of the people he loved, the world he called home, and he knew that he couldn't risk their safety, their very existence, in pursuit of some theoretical utopia. He had glimpsed the face of his own hubris, the dangerous allure of playing God, and he had emerged from the experience humbled and chastened. A profound sense of regret washed over him as he realized the true cost of his journey. He had ventured into the future seeking answers, but he had returned with a heavy heart, haunted by the knowledge of what might have been and the crushing weight of his own fallibility. The weight of countless timelines pressed down on Alex. He had seen utopias masking subtle, insidious control, dystopias where his inventions fueled unimaginable horrors. He was a nexus point, the architect of futures both wondrous and terrifying. The lab, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison. Equations, once symbols of hope, now appeared as cryptic warnings. Sleep offered no escape, haunted by fragmented memories. He questioned his sanity, reality fraying at the edges. How could he reconcile the man he once was with the architect of such diverse futures? The journey through time had fractured him, shattered his sense of self into 1,000 pieces. He carried within him the memories, the scars, the triumphs and failures of countless versions of himself. He was a living paradox, a chorus of whispers and echoes. There was the Alex who had chosen love over ambition, his heart filled with the warmth of family. And then there was the Alex consumed by his work, his brilliance a double-edged sword. He saw glimpses of timelines where he had succumbed to despair, and he saw flashes of futures where he had emerged tempered and resolute. Returning to his own timeline, Alex found himself caught between two worlds, a ghost haunting the familiar streets of his past. The world around him, once so solid and predictable, now felt thin and translucent, a veil that he could pierce with a thought, a choice. He saw the echoes of his journey in the faces of strangers, a fleeting resemblance to a long-lost friend from a forgotten timeline, a flicker of recognition in the eyes of a child who reminded him of a life he might have lived. The world was both familiar and alien, a constant reminder of the countless possibilities that swirled around him, invisible to all but himself. The ordinary rhythms of life, the mundane routines he had once taken for granted, now held a strange new significance. He found himself appreciating the simple things, the warmth of the sun on his face, the laughter of children playing in the park, with an intensity that bordered on reverence. He knew that every moment, every interaction, no matter how insignificant it might seem, had the potential to ripple through time, to shape the destiny of countless lives, including his own. The burden of knowledge, the weight of infinite possibilities, had not crushed him, but had instead imbued his life with a profound sense of purpose and a newfound appreciation for the precious fragility of existence. As Alex observed the world around him, he began to see the unseen hand of his influence in the most unexpected places. A chance encounter between two strangers that blossomed into a lifelong partnership, a seemingly insignificant act of kindness that rippled outward, touching the lives of countless others. He realized that his journey through time had not given him control over fate, but rather an understanding of its intricate workings. The timelines were not fixed, immutable pathways, but rather a fluid, ever-changing tapestry woven from the threads of countless choices, both large and small. He was not a puppet master pulling the strings of destiny, but rather a gardener tending to a vast and intricate garden. He could nudge the timelines in certain directions, plant seeds of hope and nurture their growth, but he could not control the wind or the rain, the unpredictable forces of chaos and chance that shaped the ultimate outcome. He had glimpsed the face of God, not as a bearded patriarch sitting in judgment, but as the sum total of all choices, all possibilities, all the joys and sorrows, triumphs and failures that made up the grand, chaotic symphony of existence. And in that realization, he found a strange sort of peace. He was not responsible for writing the story of the universe, but he could choose to play his part with compassion, with wisdom, and with a deep and abiding reverence for the intricate beauty of it all. A choice for the future. The journey through time had changed him, stripped away his illusions and forced him to confront the depths of his own humanity. He had never lost sight of one fundamental truth, that the power to choose, to shape one's own destiny, resided within each and every individual. The future was not predetermined, but a tapestry woven from countless choices. He would use his knowledge to guide humanity towards a brighter future. Embracing the joy and sorrow, he would live each day to the fullest. The enduring ripple. Dr. Alex Reed's journey through time was over, but its impact resonated deeply within him. He had walked through the corridors of his own future, witnessed the profound and often unsettling consequences of his choices. The experience had been a crucible, burning away his illusions of control, revealing the awesome and terrifying responsibility inherent in the act of creation. He had seen humanity at its best and worst, witnessed the birth of stars and the extinction of entire civilizations. He had learned that time was not a river flowing in a single direction, but a vast, interconnected ocean, its depths teeming with possibilities, each choice creating a ripple that echoed through eternity. His lab, once a sanctuary of scientific exploration, now felt different, imbued with a newfound weight. Every equation, every blueprint, every line of code was no longer just a theoretical construct, but a potential seed of creation, capable of blossoming into realities both wondrous and terrifying. He had returned from his journey not with a sense of mastery over time, but with a profound respect for its power and mystery. The future, he now understood, was not a fixed destination, but a canvas upon which the choices of countless individuals, driven by their hopes, their fears, their dreams, and their flaws, would paint the ever-evolving tapestry of existence. The Unending Labyrinth. The time machine, once a symbol of his ambition, now stood silent. He had no desire to use it again. The journey had taken its toll, leaving him with a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. He knew that the temptation to interfere would always be there, but he had learned the hard way that even the smallest actions could have unintended consequences. The future was a labyrinth with infinite pathways. A choice, a responsibility, a future. Though his journey through time was over, Alex's life was far from finished. He carried within him the memories, the experiences, the triumphs and failures of countless versions of himself, a rich tapestry of knowledge woven from the threads of infinite possibilities. He had a responsibility, he now understood, not to dictate the future, but to inspire it. He would use his knowledge, his understanding of the delicate balance of cause and effect, to guide humanity towards a brighter path, to nurture the seeds of compassion, creativity, and wisdom that he had seen flourish in the most hopeful of timelines. He would teach others about the interconnectedness of all things, the ripple effect of their actions, the awesome power they possessed to shape not only their own destinies, but the fate of generations to come. He would encourage them to embrace the unknown with courage and compassion, to approach the challenges of the future with open hearts and open minds. The future, he knew, was not a fixed destination, but a journey, a shared exploration of the infinite possibilities that lay before them. And as he looked out at the faces of those who would inherit the legacy of his choices, he felt a surge of hope, a flicker of optimism in the face of the unknown. The future was not predetermined, it was theirs to create.